The Blue Ridge City Council will meet special session at 6:05 p.m. on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025 at the Blue Ridge Community Center located at 200 West Tilton, Blue Ridge, Texas, with the following items on the agenda for discussion. No action will be taken on any of the items listed below. I still do roll call, correct?
You don't have to, yeah, because there's no action.
Perfect. Item 1, discussion of items listed on special session and regular session agenda. Items dated September 2nd, 2025. I believe Vance is going to lead us through this workshop. So
Yeah. So we're going to start off with the item number 20, which is the ILA with Collin County. So in a couple years back, there was 22, so 3 years back, there was an ILA that the city council signed to be with the Collin County in regards to our subdivision regulations. However, that was done incorrectly. It was supposed to go to county commissioners first and then come to the city council. And to this day, it's never been to commissioners court. So meaning it's invalid because we did the backwards basically. And so we're going off of basically what the county's going off of our the next earliest one, which is 2002. Yeah. And that subdivision regulations back then, which we have changed since then. So we need to basically end our session to agree on this ILA to restart. And that obviously is going to cause some issues until we can get there with our current BTJ subdivisions, because we don't have as much authority as this new one was supposed to have. So we're going off of our 2002, which doesn't have, it's very lenient because it was 2002, right? So we're gonna have to get that fixed, that ILA fixed with the county, let it go through county commissioner's court, and then it will come to the city council. But also gives us time to review our subdivision regulations and see if there needs to be changes so we can give it to the county commissioner's court.
How long do you think that'll take us to do to get it done?
Really, it would be on the county commissioners when it can be on their docket, and then as soon as that gets on their docket, they approve it, then it will go to ours. So in theory, it just depends on how long it takes the county to put on their docket and what their timeline agreements are for that. So hopefully not too long. Hopefully we rework the ILA, send to commissioner's court. So there might need to be an agenda item for the October for us to look at the ILA. The local agreement, review it, and then send it to commissioner's court for their approval. And once they approve it, then we can approve it. So we're going to be working with the county administrator, or if they have a county administrator, I assume they do.
It'll be Gerald.
Yeah. And so I'll meet with them at the staff level to figure it out, bring it to both, and then figure out what changes need to be made, what additions, subtractions, and then go to the court, hear it to us, and then we do it correctly. And we have restrictions in place for our subdivision regulations. That's not 2002. Which then ties into 19, removing Ladia Korea subdivisions from DTJ. So currently, they have gone through, as the 2002 local agreement, right? They've gone through strictly county. And the county has contacted Joni and stated that for the next 2 years, once the project's completed, we are responsible for getting our guys to go out there, fix potholes, to fix streets, fix drainage issues in that development. And we are to be bonded, which if there's a development agreement, which we kind of do with them, they would pay for that, but it's still going to be thousands upon thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars bonds that we have to pay outright and get eventually paid back. So, on top of having to pay for bonds for that place, having to send our guys out there, when we currently have streets in the city limits that have issues that need to be fixed. spending their time and our money, having our guys go out there to fix these streets. It might be better, because the city has no, to my knowledge, has no thoughts or ideas of annexing it to the city limits. So it might be better for them to just be removed from the ETJ, because they've already gone through that process with the county. They would have to redo it. We would have to get funds to do the streets and drainage, and then have to send our guys out there. So that's a lot of staff time and city money that's being spent on a project that's never going to be inside city limits. And we have, besides subdivision regulations, which 2002, 2003, right, is very lenient. It's not very beneficial for us to keep it in the ETJ because there's no plan for it to be annexed in. It's just going to be a money pit for us as the city, more than it already is.
So we could make that an amendment that nature tonight. Remove, as far as removing them.
Yeah, we would have to create,
We could do that tonight on the.
Well,
executive session.
I think we didn't create an ordinance for it. It needs to be an ordinance to de-annex it. So this is just a discussion. And then because of the taxes and the budget, we will have multiple meetings in September. So if we can do it in one of those special sessions, if we feel like, or we can wait till October during regular session or next regular session. That's totally up to you guys. Just let me know.
I want to get some more information. I mean, I want to see exactly where does the county say we have to take care of the roads.
Joni got emails.
Yeah,
Can you forward those to me?
I've got other stuff in there, but Tracy Homefeld at Collin County, I was on a Zoom call with her, the county engineer, our engineer, and the engineer for Korea and Latvia. So county doesn't immediately take over ownership of the roads inside subdivisions in the ETJ. They have a 2-year bonding period. So normally the county will put a warranty bond on any road that's inside the ETJ before they say, okay, this is going to take over county care on this date. So we wouldn't be flat out paying for those warranty bonds, but we would have to be reimbursed for said warranty bonds because we don't have a development agreement with the developers. I mean, we could have a development agreement with the developers, but that'd be up to y'all. But in order for the county to eventually take those roads over at the end of that 2-year warranty bond, we would be responsible for maintaining those roads with their money if we have a development agreement.
From what date? I mean, are they
Whenever the
doing
roads are
anything?
finished. So when those roads, when the infrastructure is completely done in those subdivisions, then we would take over road maintenance. We're not taking care of water because it's a different CCN, so that's totally different. We're not taking care of septic because that's all homeowner individual. So we're not doing electric, that's Fannin County. So it would be the road because we'd also have to have a drainage and grading plan. We would have to have,
But they'd be required to pay for that.
they would, but if they have a development agreement.
Okay.
So we would have to.
So we
go
have an
back.
option to either do a development agreement or.
We do.
Okay.
We do. But if another portion of that is if we decide to keep them in the ETJ, they have to start completely over.
We have to start with what?
They have to start completely over.
Because they've been going strictly with the county through the planning and all that stuff. And if we made this do a development agreements on that, to start from scratch all over again.
Yeah.
So
Well, they
delays
knew
the
they were
process,
in our, they knew they were in the ETJ,
right?
so. I'm sorry that they knew that. They knew they should.
So what is the developer's responsibility as far as the roads are concerned? Is that not their responsibility?
No, it is, but we have to have a development agreement.
Okay.
So in order for us to make them do anything, we have to have a contract that says you're responsible for this, this, and this. We're responsible for this. And if the county doesn't approve of those roads after that 2-year, warranty bond is up, then they're not gonna maintain those roads, and we're not following up with our part of the contract. So, because in that development agreement, our guys are gonna have to go out there to repair those roads, because we're gonna have the ones at the city that have those bonds for that warranty. So we're gonna have to keep up our end of the contract by repairing those roads if anything happens.
Right.
I mean, we're not
First
gonna
2
be,
years.
yes, for those 2 years. And if they're up to Collin County specs at the end of that warranty bond, then they take over maintenance and all of it.
So does it have to be our guys specifically, or could we subcontract that out to someone else?
I mean, I'm sure we could subcontract it, but I mean, we'd have to be very specific in the development agreement.
And it would still come through our checkbooks.
Yeah.
It would just get reimbursed. How quickly? Unknown. And how long does it take us? Obviously, we're still a small town, so we can't spend potentially tens of thousands of dollars. We get paid quickly. It could take a month or two, 3 months, and that takes away
Put all
from
that
our
in the development agreement.
Well, still, the bond was still in the city's name,
Right.
and we would have to pay out all that stuff and get reimbursed from developer. How quickly? That's up to the agreement.
Don't we have other little pockets of small additions that are outside the city limit in the ETJ?
Not that have the roads that are gonna be maintained by county. So you've got like Creekside Ranch and stuff like that, they don't count.
No,
They're
yeah,
roads.
no.
So-
I thought there were some smaller little, additions all around.
Yeah, but they have like one road, like I know there's one at 160 and 121 that was passed a year or so ago, but we weren't in a development agreement with them. They said they wanted to maintain it, but Collin County was very specific. Tracy was saying that if the city takes this over, that we would have to have that. I don't know why. I really don't. I asked her, and I guess it's because they're so far into the review process on these 2 subdivisions. In your normal packet, I basically put in the synopsis of what she told me, how far along they are on each phase, I guess, for Korea and Belladia.
Isn't Belladia just one road?
It is, but it's a county road or a county road extension is what she called it. So it's already connecting to a county road that's in existence. So that is why we would have to have that warranty bond, because it's already connecting to county maintained roads.
Is that what farm to market roads are county maintained?
No, farm to market are textile.
Okay, because that's farm to market. Both of those are farm to market roads, right?
1377, 2856, and yeah, so. Okay, I didn't look
Just send me some
directly.
in.
Okay,
Thank you.
Now, this is for a new development, so are those roads built yet, or is these the roads that are gonna be built with the development, and then at that point, we have to?
they are still in review right now, so they have not been built yet.
But that would start, once the roads are in, the development's done, that's when that 2-year mark
Yes,
would start.
because they're responsible for them technically the entire time, but once they're built and we have to have someone go inspect those to make sure that they're up to our standard, which would only be our 2002 subdivision regulations, which Vance mentioned have changed drastically. Because we just updated in 2021, I think. So we would have to have our Bureau Veritas inspectors go out and inspect the entire infrastructure, just like they're doing at Blue Ridge Crossing, before we sign off on it. And then that's when that warranty bond would start. When our inspectors say this is good, they can release it and start building.
And those are the two we just de-annexed?
Yeah, DNX from the city, like up to the ETJ. Yeah.
So they're moving from the ETJ altogether, they just be calling, they have to, like, call it county.
Only
regs.
calling county, yes. And that are subdivision regulations, which again, go through 2002, that, 2021. Because our ILA's, well, not a contract, this has never been through county court. So it's invalid. And obviously, when we get to the regular agenda item, it's, discussion again, if need be, after citizen communications, we're not acting on anything tonight. So we can discuss on it and then discuss if we want to do something about it or wait till we get our subdivision regulations redone, approved by the county. But then it's just making everybody wait at the county and then also us figure out what to do.
And the benefit of having it in the ETJ is the tax dollars, correct?
No, do anything for
We won't do anything
We-
unless we bring them into the
the city
city.
limits. Yeah,
The only
only
thing is that we have say over the
their
plat,
subdivision. Yeah,
subdivision plat is.
That was the reason we kept them to ETJ was so we still had some say over what was being built.
yeah. Now, if we did what we discussed in, like the EDC, the MDD, then yes, we could tax dollars from them for the EDCs, but again, we're not even close to that. That's a citizen bill. So it's not like that's even a thing. The voted on thing yet. So that's the only thing we could do to potentially get tax dollars in the future from them in the ETJ, and that the subdivision regulations control over that.
Is that the MDD that you said?
Yeah, municipal development district.
You could tax people in the ETJ?
Yeah, with the MDD, so get rid of an EDC, put an MDD in, it allows the ETJ to be taxed on sales of Amazon products, Walmart chip products, or like if there's a gas station or a restaurant in the ETJ, yeah.
That has to go through.
It's voter approval, so the citizens and the people in the ETJ would have to vote in favor of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alrighty, yes.
so we know how that's gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything tax, but it's not like add additional taxes. For the ETJ, it would be
Right,
anyone in city limits,
it
same.
would just be in proportional and go,
Yeah, so
Okay,
there'd be a
right,
1%
right.
increase for people in the ETJ
Right.
on their sales tax.
Yeah.
Items shipped to the house and people, because that's what's happening here, city limits,
Right.
you can see. So basically, all we have for this is subdivision regulations. That's all the benefit, unless we do something else in the future, like I said, the MDD. So that's something to ponder and think about. Is it worth going through the hassle, for staff, for the council, for the developers, for the county? To go through restart this process and months-long process, if not maybe a year long, a couple years long, this process of getting the development to be done. Any other questions on that? No? Okay. So I will kind of go down the list of anything. Let's see if anyone has questions over it. 1 through 4 is the replats.
I'm sorry, I do have a question.
Okay.
How did we find out that that was not a valid agreement?
Through the Zoom meeting with the county,
Okay,
because it never went to the county commission court to this day, and this was done in 2021.
Okay.
And they said they're supposed to go to us first and then to the council. That's how we figured it out, or found out. Just gets now, I guess.
Yeah.
So we could restart the process there and get it done correctly, legally.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so 1 through 4 is the replats. Does anyone have questions over those replats for everybody? Is it me or is it?
If Rhonda is hardwired, so hers is better than
I can turn mine off,
Oh, no, you're
because
good.
I mean, I can hear, well, I can hear you, as long as everybody can hear you, I have to turn mine off.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
Um,
So just to be right.
Yeah. I can talk loudly if need be too.
Are those people gonna be here for the hearing
Which people? On the replats?
on the replats? Yeah.
I
If
don't
they're
think
not
so.
required to be,
'Cause I got questions.
I can probably
Every
answer
single
some
one
of
of
those.
them.
Okay, go ahead. I can probably answer them for you.
Um, the first one. Okay, a question that I've asked of every single one is, what is the purpose of these replats?
So the purpose of the West End Edition replat, that's owned by Luther Kennan. He built a house for his daughter on the east side. And then he wants to just give her the minimum lot size of 7,500 feet. And he wants the back half because he might try to turn that into commercial because his business is right on the other side of that west side replat. So he is replatting. He's just changing the property line in the middle to,
Yeah, I noticed it was
Yeah.
the bare minimum lot size.
yeah. So the original, actually, it's not. He's leaving her a little bit more. So the original square footage is 24,210.64 square feet. He's splitting lot 1 into 12,911.18 square feet, which is the one that he might turn commercial. And his daughter's lot, lot 2, he's splitting into 11,299.46 square feet.
Okay, so lot 22 is going to be a Baker Street address.
Correct.
Okay, because I mean, it doesn't have access on Justin.
Right.
Okay, so that was it for that. And the
And
second one,
Pecan Hollow, that is, if you know 504, I've been waiting for that house to get torn down for years, and it's finally getting torn down. As we see, it's gone, thank goodness. It was a trash heap, and Justin Garner bought these 2 lots and is wanting to subdivide in order to build. He's not, I'm sorry,
I just went to number 2.
Pecan Hollow Place.
Yeah, it's Weston.
oh, okay, I skipped mine, okay.
So he's not going, I don't think Justin's gonna build, but he wants to separate to sell the raw land.
Okay, so did they already tear it down? Because I haven't paid attention when I drove that.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Okay. So lot 1 is gonna have a Main Street address.
So yeah, one will have a business 78 address, one will be 504 South Business 78. The other one will have a Main Street address.
So, but their plan is to build on each,
Correct.
um,
And it's well
residential?
over, yeah, it's well over the 7,500.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty big.
Okay. Then the,
Trenton, did you have a question about that?
Was that selling Pecan Hollow?
Yes,
I thought you said he was selling the raw land.
I think. So the intention is to sell it to develop,
Gotcha.
to build, yeah. But because I asked Justin if he was building and he said he's not. So I think he has just bought the land, cleaned it up and is trying to.
so you can sell them
flip it,
separate.
yeah.
Thank you. Okay, on the mobile homes, there's, what's the purpose of that one?
So Penny Lane Edition, they wanted to add another mobile home in for her mother. They started by going backwards, and this is probably 2 years back, and moved said mobile home in on one parcel, and got stopped at the OSSF because you can only have one home per parcel per state of Texas.
Okay.
So she came to the city. We told her she'd have to plat. She didn't want to. She tried to remove herself from the ETJ. No one moved on that motion, so it died. And now she's like, I need to plat it. My mom needs a house. So that is the reason for this plat.
Yeah, because there's 2 mobile homes out there, right?
Correct.
Are they moving one over?
So she's got a mobile home, there's 2 mobile homes on there. Like I said, she started backwards
She put it
and put it on there
now
without
she
plat.
wants to
Okay.
Thought she could just do
The
it.
map, the county map didn't show, it showed 2 mobile homes at that address, but
Okay.
when you go in and look at the map,
Mhm.
it only showed one and something in behind.
It's a
Like
little
small building.
outdated. If you look on Collin County's map, I don't think they've updated those for a little bit. Like, cause there's still stuff that's raw land that definitely is not raw land on there. So, but, that's the reason she's splitting, and she's splitting it into 1 acre for her mom and
Okay.
then almost 2 for her.
And then the last one, same thing.
Same thing. Trying to turn it into family land. Want to put, but there's nothing on this. This is raw land. And he bought
There's
it.
improvements.
I'm sorry.
There's improvements.
Well, I think that is a
Yeah.
separate one,
Yeah,
isn't
no,
it?
there's a house.
Isn't that the Glen Cashin?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Well,
yeah.
No, well, I mean,
He bought it.
Martinez guy.
So they're wanting to build just another house. So they're splitting it.
Do they do a packet that's more complete than what we get, or when you send us the stuff, is this everything that they file when they file for a replat or any kind of?
I get this. So what I
Is
do.
there like an application that they also fill out, or?
No, because it's all through the county. All I'm doing is saying that it meets county subdivision regulations.
I'm not talking about the ETJ, the ones in our city.
No, these are all ETJ. Like, there's no application just to plat. Now, a development, totally different. Because I can't permit in the ETJ. The city can't permit ETJ, so I can't have it. Like, I don't know what they're building or anything. Unless it's a subdivision.
Well, 1 and 2 are in our city limits.
Correct, yeah,
Okay.
but, yeah, no, those,
Yes, so she was asking to take the work, they can do whatever.
well, yeah, but like Luther Keenan, he's not doing anything with that other lot yet, so I don't know, there's nothing for him to fill out in his
I
daughter's
mean, do they
house.
fill out an application?
No,
They just, how do they get on their,
they turn this into me and say
just a plat, that's it?
well, it's a completed plat, it's got the survey, what they're gonna do to it, and 90% of the time, it's David doing them, so he knows what our regulations are, so.
And are
it's-
those correct?
Yeah. I'm not too sure about this penny line sign.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm not,
Penny
I
lanes are
thought
in
the
the
county,
right?
county required 100-foot frontage.
Well, I mean, if it goes to county, which it already has been, because it's signed by county, I can't fight it.
Good.
I mean, because it's not
That's
inside the
interesting.
city.
Yeah.
Well, they could have a shared driveway because you've got over 200 feet of road frontage. So if they have a shared driveway, then that would knock
I'm
that
kind of
out.
curious how that penny line,
That's up-
maintained,
I'm sorry,
is that maintained by the county?
Penny Lane,
Or is that a problem?
not a county road, so I'm not sure.
Kind of curious. Just saying that the county signed on there? No, just got. Well, yeah. For the second. Yeah, they were 86. I'm
Right.
surprised.
But they have over 200, so if they have a shared driveway,
Okay,
then that
it
takes care of it.
does, that's interesting. No. Yeah, interesting. All right. Yeah, And it, last 2 years ago, they changed 150 foot minimum
To
to
100,
100.
yeah.
And then now.
I mean, and if they get it to county to file and they say, up, you don't meet standards, then they'll have to go back and redo this process all over again. So. But you can have the shared driveways. It's just it's a pain. It's such a pain.
Especially if you go to sell one.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
what I
like
try to
you-
tell people when they're trying to plat and they're like, oh, it's family land. And I'm like, you may want it to be family land, but might not always be, you know?
Yeah. Okay, that's all I had on the.
Any other questions on the plat? David? Okay. Does anyone have questions on the consent agenda that is on your packet? Yes.
I just want to make a correction to the minutes.
Okay.
And it was item 15.
The retail coach proposal.
Yes, I did not make a motion to approve. I made a motion to table.
Okay.
I will get that fixed tomorrow.
I mean, I made the motion to table it,
Yeah.
to send it to 4A and 4B.
Yeah.
I thought
But I
about
did not say.
Any other questions on the consent agenda? Linda?
No.
David? Or do you need more questions?
No, down further.
Okay, one thing I will note, on my city administrator's report in the very back, I did some calculations just to kind of give you a rough estimate how much roads cost. And that's just, for the basics, that's not including drainage or anything like that. How many miles of road we have, and if the county did for us, how much it would cost, just to kind of let you know, that you see. And also, the citizens ask, well, we can show that page of how many miles of road the city owns, right? And obviously there's, county roads, and which is going to be in the county, but ours is going to be TxDOT. Explain to what we have control over, so we can notate that and then figure out, okay, well, we know this road is 0.2 miles. It's going to cost us, if we let the county do it, not bid it out this much. So we know for the future, rough estimate, right? It could be a lot more, it probably is a lot more than what is provided, but just nice little touch to get better understanding surely how much roads are to fix and how expensive it is, and not including drainage.
Was that kind of like, about doing the quarter-cent sales tax that I brought up?
In
for
regards,
roads? I mean, I know it has to be voted on
yeah,
to have that done. I mean, looking at how much all that's gonna cost, and we don't have any money.
right.
If we set this up and the voters agree on it,
Mhm.
then we could start putting money into a fund for doing all these repairs.
Right.
Because, I mean,
So the only two ways to go about that is, so obviously, when it comes to sales tax, EDC gets 1% and the city gets 1%. We can't increase it further. We're capped out at 2%.
yeah, somebody's gonna have to give up work.
Yeah, so basically, we can't do it with the EDC because that would be because they're on separate entities. So it'd be city saying, 25, percent, 0.25% of our 1% will go strictly to roads. And we would just budget for that, do a capital improvements plan to budget for that, street repairs and stuff like that. Or we can, increase property tax rates, to over the amount that we have voter approved. Hopefully voters approve it, to then let that be the focus of streets and repair. That's kind of our two options right there. And so that's something, the council will have to discuss if they want to give up the sales tax or increase the property tax above the 0.53 that we have, because I can guarantee you that 10 cents currently, but in the future will be like that 1 cent difference or no cent difference. It's not going to make a huge dent. We need to increase that a lot more. Now, granted, when we get more property in here, obviously home values rise. That might make a little bit of a difference. We might have to increase the property tax rate to cover streets, but that's going to have to discussion we have to talk about when it gets close to that time. And once we have the comprehensive plan done as well.
I just think we need to do it sooner than later.
Right.
Be thinking about this.
Yeah.
Putting money back because, as we all know, the roads are
Low
not
bumpy.
that great.
Low bumpy. Right. Yeah. But yeah, that would be something that we discussed the past next few months, especially when it comes to the next budget cycle. We discuss if we want to set aside money for streets, street repair more than we usually do. Because usually only do like 20 to 30 to 40,000. Well, you saw the calculation worksheet I sent you that gives you nothing. Like those potholes and that's about it. Not complete redo street. So yeah, that's something we'll talk about, in the coming months to figure that out. Let me go back to my screen. Any other questions, Senator, or what discussed about the commercial water consumption? Wendy, I know you wanted us to look into that. And so we looked into that. The reason why there's such a vast difference, we do charge more. There's just less commercial clients, right, than residential. So that's why the number is so vastly different. If you look at the water rates, we have about 50 commercial versus like hundreds of residential water users. So that's why the number is so different. It's because of the limited amount of commercial users we have in our city limits.
Can I add on to that?
Yes, ma'am.
Plus, we have many commercial meters that we monitor and we keep up with how much we use, but we don't bill.
I understand
So, yeah.
that. And I think that on the report that we're given, since it says that this is supposed to be, I would like broken down maybe water usage that's not billed versus what's billed.
So
Because I think
with,
that is very confusing. I mean, because
It
we got
is.
all our wells.
it is,
You
but
should
with
take that
that,
off.
reporting system that we have, Assist, we cannot make specific reports. They give you a list of reports that you can print, and that's one of them. I can ask Crystal if she can subtract the usage from like the wells, community center, fire department, and stuff like that. I can ask her if she can subtract that and just kind of make a note of it on that same report at the bottom, but it won't let you make specialized reports.
I still think we need to look at our billing rates because all the other cities around us do it by meter size.
We do too.
Okay, when I looked at our water rates, it's just based on, okay, over this much gallons, it jumps up to this. I didn't see anything based on meter size. That
Well,
is-
for us, that's commercial and residential. Because we don't have like we have some that go because our lines vary from 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 3 inch, 6 inch.
Right,
So,
and the
but
commercial should like are 4, 6, that type. And they should just be charged if they use different. And the other thing I noticed on that account or on that report was there's 15 commercial accounts with no sewer, but you just had a list of 9 that you don't charge for.
a list of, I believe APS, Advanced Plastic Services, is on septic. So we wouldn't charge them sewer. I'm trying to think. I'm not in utility billing every day.
Because
so I
we've got it broken
apologize.
down that there's commercial water outside city limits. So they would not be on sewer.
Correct, that's
I
the
could
revenue.
get that. And then there were like 50 commercial in the city. And you're saying that a lot of that is, our wells and stuff. I've got it. It said commercial sewer told us 36, and then commercial water told us was 51. So I come up with 15 accounts that don't have any sewer. I mean, should they, I don't know. I'm just saying, shouldn't they be listed on outside if they're not inside getting sewer? I could be reading too much into it. I was just trying to understand these reports.
Mhm.
So let me get to that page.
Yeah. So that's-
So what report are you looking at?
Well, I'm looking at this month's report,
Okay,
and I'm looking at what was in the package for the explanation on the usage.
okay. So the explanation is just water, so I don't have any of the answers for sewer, but if you want answers for sewer, I will ask Crystal for those as well.
Okay.
Any other questions on that? Okay. Next is the fence violation with regards to animal control. Our All-American did give them a notice to get that fence fixed, as you can see in your packet. Any other questions on that? In your packet's also the sanitation solutions contract, how long that lasts for. We still got a few more years of it, before we can put it out to bid. We either let them bid or others bid, the services, so we still have it for at least 3-4 years. Any questions on that? Okay.
No, just, did I get a copy of the tire contract?
It's in there.
No,
Not the entire, I just got like
Oh, the
one
first one.
page.
Okay, yeah. We can send that to you.
Okay, thank you.
And then, Great Street updates. Did you give them the latest update on their packet?
I'm so sorry, say that again.
The latest update on the packet is in there?
I did. I printed the email from Russell about the everything that they're doing, the culverts, the slopes.
Yeah.
They are basically redoing Pruitt. So Pruitt's at a 2-to-1 slope right now, which is basically a 50% grade. So 3-to-1 is maximum, 4-to-1 is preferred. They are going to get it to a 4-to-1, which is like a I wrote it down. Maybe I no, I think that was a 4-to-1. I made it to where I could see it because I like color. So that's the slope that they're at right now, the 2-to-1. This is what's preferred, and that's what we're going to get, that 4-to-1 slope, that grade. Because it is ridiculously graded.
Yep.
They're on Pruitt. So they are completely redoing it.
And we do not have plans for that yet.
Yeah, I don't have the finalized plans.
Okay.
But I have what they are going to do. They're going to put in 18-inch culverts. They're going to redo the grading and slopes. They are inserting a manhole at the end of Ballpark Circle and upgrading another sewer line.
So are they gonna have to demo roads that have already?
They're going to probably do what they did last time and do one side at a time. So it's
So they're
not.
redoing the entire, all.
Well, because we were talking to him and I told him, I'm like, because me and Brad went and we walked that entire road. I was like, we told them that what they have there is unacceptable and the city will not sign off on it. And they immediately and very promptly got to me with the ones that I gave y'all, the plans that I put in your packet.
What company did the road specifically?
Gilco. So it's subcontracted through Gilco. And the plans that were sent to me, I promptly sent to our engineers where he explained the slopes. Got that sent back, and then, because I was like, so here's what we need to do. I gave them options. They said redoing the road's too expensive. I said, that might be the only option you have, and that's the option they went with.
So how big are the deep are the ditches?
They're like 5 feet deep right now. Those ditches are like 5 feet deep.
I know. I mean, how are homeowners supposed to?
No, they're not. Yeah, they're not. They're redoing those. That's what I was saying. They're going from the 2-1
To
slope
the 5%.
to the 4-1 slope. So they're going from a ridiculous angle to a much more manageable neighborhood angle. The slope they're at is for like highways, barrier, so they're completely redoing it.
Any more questions on Prairie Street? The surety bonds, you see that in your packet. It's pretty straightforward, they can't give us an exact number of how much it's gonna cost us when the application's complete, but she said, it's gonna be a few $100s first. To get that done. The resolution, 2025-0902-01, any more questions on that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're trying to figure out.
Okay. So any other questions on that resolution? That was the subdivision regulation street names in the ETJ of the city of Blue Ridge. We have what Wendy has created, and then legal Allison also found a copy for us to look at to see, which one we like better, do we want to blend the two. If we can have that discussion today. Obviously, there's no ordinance, to approve it today. We want to have a good discussion about it and kind of work through that. See what we like with Wendy's, what legal sent us, to see if we like speak to them, in that community that she pulled from. And then kind of go from there, because we would have to amend our subdivision regulations for street names, that section. Any questions on that? Square closure and parade route, pretty straightforward. The parade route, in there will be discussions about the route, if we want to change how it currently is done. A citizen came in, has some ideas of how we can change it to make it a better parade experience. So
Then I gave her updated routes for the Christmas parade.
Any questions on that? Okay. The retail coach proposal and contract. So in there is a contract that I drew up after discussing it with both EDC boards, where the city, the EDCs have equal partnership with retail coach. So splitting costs $5,000 each having a say discussion with retail coach and, what we want in the city, how we go about it. Having an equal partnership, because if we're all chipping in money, they all want equal partnership, and that makes fair sense. So I drafted that contract, sent it to both the A board and the B board. And then, if the city council is okay with it, we'll approve the contract with retail coach and the contract with interlocal contract with the EDC and us with regards to that. The ordinance 2025-0902-002. Anyone have questions on that? The CDC budget, they approved at their last meeting. Any questions in regards to that? So like I mentioned to each individual, I did send out emails in regards to the tax rate. We can discuss it further in regular session, but I had a discussion with legal beginning of September about our tax rate, because I had non-answers from the county. Regarding to my questions, so I had to contact legal to get answers to my questions. Well, by the time we got answers for my questions, it was past the due date to change the tax rate from what the county has given us, unless we want people to, say, this is not right, we want to fight it, right? And we have a right to fight it if we went above what the county is giving us at some date. So we're gonna, there's a schedule in your packet. How we're gonna do it, we have meetings on the 16th and 23rd. 16th is to approve the budget, and 23rd will be to approve the tax rate. Don't ask me why we have to do it backwards. You think you do the tax rate before the budget, but per legal, we have to do the budget before the tax rate, approve the tax rate. So 16th will be the budget, 23rd will be the tax rate. Each of these meetings shouldn't take too long. It's only gonna be a couple items. There won't be like minutes or anything like a consent agenda. It'll just be those items. Except the 16th will have the budget discussion as well.
Everyone has to be.
Everyone has to be there, yes, because we're all missing a seat on council. So starting at 7, hopefully it won't take longer than 30 minutes or an hour max, unless there's like a lot of discussion to get that done, and then we'll be good to go. I would recommend, obviously, next year to, now we know, to go back to what we were, so we could, put money aside for streets or for a police department. I can tell you the county's knocking on the door, ready for us to get someone, we get a police department going. And so after that is the Blue Ridge council member serving on the appraisal board. Wendy brought it up to Joni and I's attention that it's actually for citizens, not the council. So during that item, we'll just mention that if there's any citizen interested in being on that appraisal board, contact City Hall and we'll walk through the steps. But what Wendy showed us, no council member can be a part of the appraisal board. So we would, during that agenda item, we would just talk about citizen participation and being someone interested in the appraisal board to represent Blue Ridge as the community. Okay. Any other questions in regards to anything on the agenda? Okay. That's it for the workshop. There's no other questions. 3 minutes is all that session. So we use the rest of the yes.
The Blue Ridge Community Center located at 200 West Tilton, Blue Ridge, Texas, with the following items on the agenda for consideration and or action. And the time will be at 7:10 p.m. Item number 1, call to order and roll call. Wendy Mattingly. Here. Trenton Sissom.
Here.
David Apple.
Here.
Linda Brawley. Here. Howard Williams present. We'll all rise and we'll have this led by Trent.
So Heavenly Father, thank you for another day and allowing us to gather here tonight. Please help get the council administration wisdom as we make decisions to look over matters that have to do with the city. Thank you for all that you do. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Item number 2, first public hearing to receive public comments and discuss requests for preliminary and final plat known as the West End Edition replat, whereas Luther Kennan is the owner of 2 lots situated in the city of Blue Ridge, Collin County, Texas, being part of the Mathis Mallory Survey, abstract number 557, and all of lot 13 and lot 22 of West End Edition, also known as 111 Justin Street, Blue Ridge, Texas, property ID 199556 and 1995515, lot 22 containing 0.26 acres or 11.299.46 square feet, and lot 13 containing 0.30 acres or 12,911.18 square feet, replatting into 2 lots, lot 1 being 15,762 square feet and lot 2 being 7,500 square feet, and also which is located within the city of Blue Ridge's incorporated city limits. I'm sorry.
For plat,
Can you hear what you're saying?
anyone for the plat or,
So we're gonna take action on this one first.
well, you do it both times.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this time we'll ask those ones here for the plat. Or against the plat. Okay. This time, right? Is there a next one? Okay. Item number 3. First public hearing to receive public comments and discuss requests for a preliminary and final plat known as Con Hollow Place Edition, a tract of land situated in the city of Blue Ridge, Collin County, Texas, being part of the Mathis Mallory Survey, abstract number 557, and being all of the called 0.476 acre tract of land conveyed to Pecan Hollow Ventures LLC, recorded document number 20250000056685, also known as 504 South Business Highway 78, tract 123, containing 0.46 acres or 20,038 square feet, replatting into 2 lots, with lot 1 being 10,375 square feet and lot 2 being 10,374 square feet, and also which is located within the city of Blue Ridge's incorporated city limits. So you want to see if we have comments or all board questions? None? Okay. Item 4. First public hearing to receive public comments and discuss a request for a preliminary and final plat known as the Penny Lane Edition, SBLMH, Blue Ridge Mobile Sales, abstract A0555, in addition located at 10461 Penny Lane, Blue Ridge, Texas, and also known as abstract 555, lots and more survey sheet 1, tract 3, containing 2.987, replating into 2 lots, with lot 1 1.000 acres and lot 2 being 1.987 acres, and also which is located within the city of Blue Ridge's extraterritorial jurisdiction. Do we have any public comments regarding this? None? Okay. Item number 5. First public hearing to receive public comments and discuss a request for a preliminary and final plat known as the Lazaro Martinez Edition, whereas Lazaro Martinez is the owner of the tract of land situated in the city of Blue Ridge, Collin County, Texas, being part of the Mathis Mallory Survey, abstract number 557, being a portion of that certain tract of land described in deed to Lazaro Martinez as recorded in instrument number 2023 000107708, official public records, Collin County, Texas, and property ID number 1037657, lot 1 being 1.071 acres and lot 2 being 1.074 acres, and also which is located within the city of Blue Ridge's extraterritorial jurisdiction. Have any public comments regarding that item? None? Item number 6 is adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Linda, do I have a second?
Second.
Trent. Mr. David Trenton, got it. All in favor? That will be at 7:16 p.m. Sorry.
No,
You took more time for mowing.
Okay. So now we're going into regular session, correct?
Ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, okay. The Blue Ridge City Council will meet regular session at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, at the Blue Ridge Community Center, located at 200 West Tilton, Blue Ridge, Texas, with the following items on the agenda for consideration and/or action. Item 1, call to order and roll call. Wendy Mattingly. Here. Trent Sissom.
Here.
David Apple.
Here.
Lee Molly. Here. Rhonda Williams, present. We will have this at 7:17. Okay. We'll pass on item number 2. Item number 3 is public comment. One, public comment, Dina Brown and Brooke Redden.
Brooke hadn't shown up yet, but. I mean, I can get it.
Here, I can text her later. outside.
She's on.
You're actually on the agenda itself, but you go ahead.
Okay. So my name is Dina Brown and I'm with Christ United Church. And we would like to request the closing of both sides of the square for the 2025 Christmas on the Square during and after the parade. We are requesting the date of November the 29th from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Sorry. We also have our letter from all the business owners from the square, or the signatures that you guys have requested. And we would also like to change the parade route to go down 504 to Business 78, Business 78 to 545, and then 545 to Church Street and back to the school, middle school.
I gave her the updated maps. So
Oh,
it
you
said
did?
on 17, we can go over
Okay.
it.
All right, and that's it. We would also like to invite the city council to ride on a parade float, because a lot of people don't know who the city council is. The new city administrator, people don't know who you are either, so we'd love for y'all to ride on the float as well.
Thank you.
Get this stuff.
That's fine. Yep. Okay. No. Okay. On to item number 4, public hearings, receive public comments. And request for naming final plat on the West End additional ring plat. Can I read this whole thing again?
Just the name of it.
Okay, since we already
Yeah,
discussed it.
you already
Okay.
discussed.
All right, so item number 4, second public hearing to receive public comments and discuss the request for preliminary and final plat known as the West End Addition Ring Plat. Ready to go there? Council, have any questions? Any further questions regarding this? Item 4, the West End Addition.
You make a motion that we approve.
Okay, motion by Wendy, second. I'll second. Linda seconds. All in favor? Thank you. Item number 5 is the second public hearing to receive public comments and discuss replat of preliminary and final plat known as Pecan Hollow Place Edition.
Make sure you open.
Sorry.
Make sure you open.
What is that?
Yes, that's what I
Okay.
was telling me.
Open and close.
Yeah.
Okay,
Apologies.
so that's okay. So I'll open for the public comments. Anyone has any public comments regarding this item? At 7:21. None. Close public comments at 7:21. This time we'll entertain a motion by the council.
I make a motion that we approve this plat.
Item number 5. Have a motion by Wendy, a second. Trent, that's a second. All in favor? Thank you. Item number 6, second public hearing to receive public comments and discuss requests for preliminary and final plat known as Kenny Lane Edition. Open that at 7:22 for any individuals who public comment regarding that. Still close at 7:22 as well. Items on the motion by the council. Motion.
I make a motion that we approve the final plat as family addition.
Motion by Wendy. Second. Trent's got a second. All in favor? Item number 7. Second public hearing to receive public comments and discuss requests for preliminary and final plat notice of Zero Martinez edition. 722. Any further comments regarding that? Okay. Plus 723. Entertain a motion by the council.
I make a motion that we approve the Lazaro Martinez edition.
Motion by Wendy, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Trent gets this one. All in favor? Number 8, consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda for discussion and possible actions are considered to be routine by the city council and require little or no deliberation. There will not be a separate discussion of these items. The consent agenda items being acted by one vote. If a council member expresses a desire to discuss the matter listed on the consent agenda, the item will be considered separately. A, discuss, approve, or disapprove the minutes for special session held August 12, 2025. B, public works update. C, city financial report. D, fire department report. E, animal control. F, new permit report. G, write-offs for utility billing. And H, city administrator report. We do not have a fire department report. All other items are in the packets.
I just want to clarify that we're going to correct the minutes as we discussed in the workshop. Okay, on item 15. Okay, that I didn't approve it, that I made a motion to table instead.
Okay. With that correction. Anything else?
I want to make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as amended.
Or, do I have a second? Trent seconds. All in favor? Item 9, discuss residential and commercial water consumption and income inquiry from special session held on August 12th, 2025. Oh, it's okay. Just keep it that. No, keep it that one. I'll put her next. Sorry. It's okay. Is there any discussion regarding this? We know we already discussed it in our workshop.
Just what we discussed, you know, getting, see if we can change the way that report's done, where we can remove those. More information on those commercial.
So I'll entertain a motion. Okay, Wendy made a motion to, based on the corrections that we asked for in the workshop. Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Linda seconds, all in favor? Okay. Then we're gonna move back up a little bit. We're gonna, move to item 20. Which is consider, discuss, and act upon approved Community Development Corporation proposed budget for fiscal year 2025-2026. Right, and that's Tanya Harrison. There you go.
You're on time. Hit it again. Hi, I'm Tanya with the Community Development Board. I am your treasurer. I just need to know if y'all have any questions. I know a couple of you are new. So I didn't know if y'all had questions or anything about our budget.
Okay. Did anyone have any questions?
You need to explain anything?
Things are good.
Thank y'all for moving me up so I can make the T-ball game.
Okay, so we want to go ahead and take action on item number 20, since we made that one up.
I make a motion that we approve the, budget for the community development corporation as presented.
Second. Second. All right, we'll let David have this one. Okay. Okay. Okay, now we have number 2, discuss fence violation for from special session held August 12th, 2025. So you
I'm going to move something to, the items that you asked us at the end. Placing future items. It has to do, sort of has to do with that, but it's not.
So you have to want to table this if you're on for the council next.
I don't have a problem with that, the fence inquiry. I'm going to make a comment about the actual report.
On the fence violation part. Not on that one.
On the animal report.
Okay. So you want to, how do you want to do it?
She also did on
Yeah,
27,
we'll do it.
Okay.
adding to the.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I appreciate the explanation. Make a motion that we move on. I don't know.
Because there's no action needed.
I know,
It's just
there's no-
discussion.
yeah.
Just move on.
Okay. Item number 12, discuss sanitation solutions contract terms and inquiry for special session held August 12th, 2025.
My only comment is, I have requested a copy of that contract.
So when you request a copy of the contract regarding this. Anything else? Okay, item 12, discuss Pruitt Street update inquiry for special session held August 12th, 2025. Have that update. Did you want to give any more on any of it?
Well, as soon as we get the actual plans, I'll make sure that everybody sees them.
Okay. 13, discuss surety bond information inquiry for special session held August 12th, 2025.
Besides what I explained to you, till we have the application spelled out, there's not an exact number, what it's going to be, but, you know, it will be a couple of hundreds, it's like that range to $500. And obviously it's going to be required for anyone who handles any financial transactions.
Okay.
So are you going to do the application? 'Cause I know we did kind of discussed it a little bit.
Yeah, so this is only a discussion, so the next, you know, if we tie along with the budget, with one of those, we could discuss and act upon surety bond. This is only discussion. So we'll need to act on a future agenda to approve XYZ people to get surety bonded. Yes.
Item 14, consider discuss and act upon resolution 2025-0902-001, approving a negotiated settlement between Atmos City Steering Committee and Atmos Energy Corporation Mintex Division regarding the company's 2025 rate review mechanism filing. And I believe that we take care of this every year. We just approve it. Don't lead to action.
I make a motion that we approve resolution 2025-0902-001.
It's been motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Trent? Okay. Item number Item 15, consider and discuss amending the city subdivision regulations regarding street names inside city limits and extraterritorial jurisdictions.
So like I mentioned, in the workshop, we have two resolutions, in your packet. One is the one from Lancaster that Allison, from legal has sent us over, and then the one that Wendy has drafted. So you can see, there might be differences, but also we would have to amend our, it would be, if the focus is more on the ETJ, then it would be our subdivision regulations where we would amend our street name there. So, we need to discuss and figure out what we like, what we don't like, and then work that to create a resolution to amend our subdivision regulations. We can have a discussion over it because we're not passing anything, and this is only a discussion matter, so we can discuss the two resolutions in front of us, see what we like and don't like, and then we, staff, will create, and legal will create one, amend our subdivision regulation, and if anything else to abide by what the council has discussed.
Yeah, review.
So we just send it back to legal to get us a resolution.
So,
That would-
so we're going to have a discussion over what you presented to us, Wendy, and then what legal also sent over to figure out what the city council believes is best for the citizens of Blue Ridge and our ETJ, what's the best language. And Allison can discuss more about this, what she thinks might be best for the city of Blue Ridge in regards to street naming, because there's only certain things we can do, obviously, talk about freedom of speech and stuff like that. We want to be cautious of that. So Allison, there's a microphone right there. Want to talk about that topic?
So the biggest concerning.
We'll just switch it. There might
Now that I'm borrowing a mic, it's not really work. The biggest concern that I have with the pre-drafted one, I did send over an example from another city, so you can see something that's out there already. My biggest concern with the pre-drafted one that we reported from council is that it could have some constitutional issues within it, with being free speech, and also the 14th Amendment are things that we have to be careful about when we are passing regulations that are viewpoint or could be seen as content-based. Those are going to run afoul of the constitutional requirements that we have to follow. So we're generally going to recommend to the city to remain in a space where your ordinances are going to be facially neutral, meaning there's no viewpoints or any of those things expressed within that. And we do have to be careful about freedom of speech, because signs and things like that are covered under that amendment. So that would be my concern, is that we go back, we discuss and figure out exactly what the city wants to do and how we want to address this. There are a number of ways of doing it so that we remain in line with the Constitution.
So with that being said, we probably need to not to move forward with that seat until we break, look more into it.
So I think Jody and I had a little conversation with the meeting, and this was set for discussion. So you're welcome to have discussion and conversation, but we don't have an ordinance that's ready for you to review. If you want to go through and think about it, throw out the things that council is looking to achieve with the ordinance, we can hear those, and myself with staff can then produce an ordinance that works for what you're looking to accomplish.
Do you have any thoughts?
My whole point here was to make sure that there's not names that are anti-Semitic. That's or that puts, idolizes, people that have committed genocide. That's really the points I was getting. I had no other things but that. And I don't know, I looked at the Lancaster and I think it's kind of watered down. This is just, all this is asking the city to prepare an ordinance. It's not saying take this, it's, I mean, so this isn't gonna be an ordinance that gets put on the books. We're asking the city to take this and get an ordinance.
Kind of use it as a guideline.
Right.
To prepare.
Yes, yeah, that's all this is for.
And that's why this is a discussion.
Right.
People brought in so we can figure out what we want in a future ordinance.
I definitely found lots of examples of other cities that we could work from that do have provisions that are meant to limit the use of names that have negative connotations, whether that be, naming roads or streets after people who have, historically done things that we don't find acceptable in 2025. So that is definitely something that the city can achieve in its ordinance. There are just some things in the resolution that concern me with respect to how narrowly it is tailored. I think we can get where we want to go and still remain on the upside of constitutional requirements.
Definitely want to say the constitutional requirements. But I do like the outline. I like how it's drafted and, I like I like a lot of it, but yeah, I mean, we have to stay within the law too.
And I think the ordinance needs to have that, in it, but it doesn't necessarily the resolution. I thought it was broad enough that they could draw from that and do a specific, a more specific street naming ordinance. Based on it.
So does the council want to review the information that's given and then perhaps at our next meeting be able to move forward with that? Or you
Could
would
we just provide the information throughout the week to y'all and then y'all just go ahead and start the process and not wait another 30 days? Can you do it that way?
And, depending on the next year, so the workshop ordinance, we do that, and that's also a good time to discuss it then.
Yeah.
Then we can work on it, submit it for the next meeting.
Does
Work, yeah.
that work?
So basically table this and send it back to council to,
Workshop it out, and then we'll staff will
Okay.
work on it.
okay, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Make a motion for that.
Okay, so we made a motion to table this time. Got a second? Trent? All in favor? Okay. 16, consider discuss and act upon a request of the Blue Ridge High School to close the square on October 8, 2025 for the annual homecoming parade. So it's like it's from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. I know on the application, it does show on here $50 typically in the past, we've always waived the fee for the school.
Usually,
And then just the proposed route. Yes, ma'am.
I think that goes like for the Christmas parade. That's Christmas parade.
This is the Christmas parade. Oh,
I don't see one.
I don't see one.
Yeah, that's not like for,
because she just wrote it. She didn't give me one, so I tried to make one. I don't know what it's for. Second. It's, I mean, honestly, it's basically the same thing as the Christmas route. Yeah, parade route. So she's got it down here, church, so. let's see, church in front of the middle school, right here to Full Street, to Business 78, to 545, back to church, to James Square. It's basically the same route. So, yeah. But it's just, one side of the square. It's just James, not James and Tilton. So they're gonna take the first.
I make a motion that we waive the application fee and approve the reroute.
I'll second.
Seconds, all in favor? Okay. Item number 17, consider discuss and act upon parade route of the Christmas parade hosted by the Christ United Church, presented by Brooke Reed and Dave Brown.
Hello, everybody. I'm Brooke. Yes, back there. She doesn't want to stand up. Hi, Courtney. Okay.
She already said.
Okay. All right. We just have a couple of things. So as you'll see on this piece of paper, there's two proposed routes. We prefer A, so if y'all are good with A, let's go with A. You can kind of see, I did put some discussion items on the left for the actual route and the logistics of it. But essentially we would be lining up along the green arrow, which is pointing north, so that we could line up utilizing the whole side of the school. What is that road called? I guess it's Tiger Lane. Okay, so we would all be facing north, go down Tiger Lane, wrap around, and utilize a little bit of West School, depending on how long the parade actually is. The staging area would be in the yellow and also the ending area. So the true actual route is going to be hanging a right on 504 and then coming all the way down 78, hanging around a right on FM 545 and then ending right at Church Street. We wouldn't take the parade viewing past that to where everyone could get back down Church Street for the end of the parade and come back into the area where we staged originally, because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to be at the square after this. And so we just want to make sure we maintain one specific route so that logistically it's not a nightmare. But that whole thing is described in the left-hand column. So that's kind of the part one for this evening, is proposing our parade route. But the next thing is going to be getting the approval for the date and the time, which our proposed date is Saturday, November 29th, with a start time of 6:30 p.m. We would need road closure to start around 6 p.m. at the latest, maybe even like 5:45, which we plan to talk to the sheriff's office ourselves and get all of that put together so that you guys don't have to have anything to do with it. We'll have all that planned through us. But essentially, the date that we want on the November 29th, it's a little bit earlier than usual, but we're trying to work with the Baptist Church, who the very next weekend has their event that they do every year. I think it's called Little Bethlehem. Is that right? Is that right? Yeah. Yeah. So we don't want to interfere with that. We want to partner. I mean, obviously, we're two big churches here in the community, and we want to make sure that they know that we support them too. So that's why we have the proposed date of November the 29th. And so if we can get approval on that, like I said, we will handle the traffic control. The next thing that we would be asking is for the closure of the square, which, hearing what y'all just talked about a second ago, I didn't realize there was maybe an application I put in, but nonetheless, we are wanting to try to close the square on Saturday, and we're going to ask for the whole day. And the reason we're asking for that is because we are wanting to put in some really great decorations, set up a lot of different vendors and different items that are going to be happening at the after event. And so we think that we're going to need the majority of the day to be able to do that. So we're asking for the square. We'll take what you give us, but hopefully it's the whole day on Saturday. So let me know. The next thing we wanted to talk about is we are hoping for city council participation and city officials so that you guys could come maybe join us in the parade and maybe even have a float, because I just think that it creates a cohesiveness with the businesses, the people, the community, and everything like that, and then the city supporting it. So that's an invitation. And then, obviously, if we do have to get permission from the business owners for the square, then we would just need to know what to do with that.
Tina turned it in.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I knew she did that. I knew that. So, other than that, like I said, there's two proposed routes. The B would be to bring it through the square, but we prefer A, so vote away. That's all I had. Any questions?
I think in the past, the only question they had before was on the Church Street. They were just worried because of the streets were so narrow and they had some drop offs
Yeah.
on the side. So that was the concern.
Well-
They would go back. So.
And that's why we're ending it essentially at Church Street to where Church Street isn't truly part of the parade. Like, we won't have patrons. That will just be the exit of the parade. Yes. So we would truly end it at 5:45 as it's turning to Church Street. We would not want any patrons watching the parade
From
on Church Street. That's correct. Yeah.
Yep. So any idea kind of what time you want to try to close in the morning, or like, because cattle is going to just really, decide this up. They don't have their breakfast.
Yeah. And I agree with that. I think breakfast should be definitely a thing for sure. I know that there's several people that go in there every single morning. So let's not say till maybe like after 10 a.m. or something like that, just to where our volunteers that are going to help set up have a chance to get up, get going, and then get there, and then we don't have to worry about having a bunch of traffic that we're trying to scoot out of there. Because if we waited all the way till 3 p.m. and we had a bunch of cars parked on the square, we're running ourselves into an issue of trying to get those cars moved out. So
Okay, so I do have one thing. So what she turned in says from 3 to 9.
Yeah.
So if y'all could just give them just go back
Okay.
to your, because I mean, Texas State is going to be closed. The
Yeah.
only ones that are going to be open are Creighton Roots and Los Tritos, Los Tritos and Cattlemen. So if you just go back to them, get them to sign a new one and give it to me.
Okay.
Then we should be.
Okay. That'd be perfect.
Any other questions?
I'll make a motion that we approve parade route A for the Christmas parade. And the road closures beginning at 5:45.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all won't have to do anything on that. We'll do that on our side of the sheriff's department.
And approve the date of November 29th on a Saturday.
Without the fee. Like the $50 fee.
And waive the fee.
Very sweet.
So, I have a motion of Linda, do I have a second? Trent? All in favor? Okay. You're good to go. Thank you so much. Item number 18. Consider discuss next one approving the proposal and contract for the cost between the city 4A EDC board and 4B CDC board.
So like I mentioned in the workshop, there's a contract that I drafted up between the EDC boards and us, that each one has equal rights to discussion with the retail coach. Voting per se, but it doesn't have to be a vote, but more like each one has thoughts and each one matters when it comes to discussion of, do we want to bring this or bring that? Cost split 3 ways, so 5,000 each. That's already reflected into the budget. I increased that cost there. Other than that, it's pretty much straightforward what we discussed with the workshop. And the EDCs are in agreement.
The 4A, we had our meeting last week, 4A was on agreement for it as well. So
Yeah, and the B was an agreement as long as they had a contract for that equal discussion. Meetings with retail coach. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to have a list of current and or former clients from this place that are cities comparable size to us
Okay.
that we can contact and see, you know, were you pleased with this company or not? Did they deliver before I want to enter into any kind of agreement on this?
Okay, well, like I said, I have a personal connection with them. I work with them in Hillsborough and Hill County. So Hill County also has like Hubbard, which is about the same size. I work with them. They're getting them a shell on top of Bueno over there. And they're not obligated to have, not on a major highway anymore. There's a bypass there. So they work with communities of this size as well. Obviously, it's going to be scaled down to what kind of businesses are brought here. Obviously, it's not going to be the big dollar ones. He's going to work with the smaller ones that would be acceptable to be brought here. So he works hand in hand with, you know, any developers that EDC works with, or works with the landowners, and obviously works with the city.
I still want a list. I mean, I understand that you know this person personally and you've worked with them when you were in Hillsborough.
It is just.
But
a
I
contract.
want more than just that. I'm sorry. I want to do my due diligence and I'd like at least 3.
Well, we do need to probably get this approved before our budget's approved and EDCs, because we've been discussing it for the past couple months now. And so, like I said, it's just a 1-year thing. Last time it was brought up to bring it to EDC to split the costs. That's what I did. So, you know, if we don't like it, it's only going to cost the city $5,000. Gets to be split up. And then in only 1 year, if we decide it's not serviceable for us, it's not a multi-year contract, we're stuck with it, we can just deny it.
So in order to do all 3 entities need to do this, city 484B, correct?
Yes, to approve
As
it.
opposed to 2 words. Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, verbally, they've all agreed to it. Obviously, EC4B wanted the contract, that says they have equal rights to talk about this. But everyone's agreed with the cost split 3-way, and I brought it to the 4A board in regards to that contract. The 4B wanted, they were in agreement with it as well. So, as partnership with each EDC and us, and then working through the coach. Like I told them, you know, 1 year, we don't think it's worth it. We haven't brought anything good to us. We move on, and we'll do it again.
So we're out $5,000.
Well, was that out $5,000? It's utilizing it to better our community and get contacts with small retailers that might benefit our community that we don't have or don't have the contacts for.
I was just hoping to get our comprehensive plan in place that before we start putting things willy-nilly.
Right, but we already have commercial buildings that are vacant and EDC land that's just sitting there that they purchased for this. That's working with the developer. So a plan needs to also be in place, you know, to get hopefully people interested in those buildings. Right now, just landowners sitting on it, where we can have someone actively trying to find someone for that slot. That's not being found right now because they don't have the contacts for it.
Any other discussion?
Oh, I can't help but think, 40-odd years ago, Dairy Queen bought a spot up here north of town, where the problem that water tower is now on 78. You know, Dairy Queen never came in. They did over there north of Salina. They built that there for years. There's nothing now, but you know, it's funny how some developers tried to do things back in the day, but they're paralyzed. You kind of wondered, well, if they want to do it, they'll come on their own. Yeah, like what Dairy Queen did at one time. And, but then that just doesn't, it fell through. So I'm not too hip on the idea that we got to get somebody to get some, if there's going to be interest, they'll come to us. I don't think Melissa's trying to hurt the grabbing Walmart, everybody to come in there. So
Well, I think this company's, their approach is that they're gonna, they have the means to be able to find the properties of the individuals who might be looking for something. As opposed to
there's
just
other
someone.
people doing that too. Some of the realtors do that, I think.
We're not in a commercial sense. They don't have the contacts with those retailers like these people do. So like, for example, if we did realtors try to do it. They don't have that personal connection. They don't have the good contacts. They're just assuming to email the franchise owner or whatever, and, they're gonna usually tell them no because they have XYZ requirements where retail coach comes in and says, well, actually, here's the data, and here's the resource for why you should be here. Money wise, or just, if you just give it general information, it's population, it's but it comes to people like these guys, or like a really advanced developer, which we don't have right now, has that information to explain to them. Like, you normally wouldn't be here, but here's why you can't be here and should be here. There's a need here in this community. And we don't have that data. We don't have those resources. Neither do our landowners have that. They're sitting on it. It's what kind of possibility could be these big buildings. Which, let's say here, right away.
Big push would be for square first.
Yes.
To get that.
Yeah, that vacant buildings is obviously going to be the number one, and then the easy land would be two. Obviously, all that can work hand in hand at the same time. And then once we get a comprehensive plan and we still want to continue with them, they'll focus on the lands that we deem as commercial next.
Discussion. I know the 4A board is all for it. Because, they have a piece of property and they reached out to a gentleman, Buttrey, and he's reached out to various people to see, and he tried to see if that urgent care coming in here, and there was urgent care and then there was something else. A dentist, things of that nature, but they needed more information and they needed more people to see. They weren't willing to come here, but this company does this stuff.
And figure out the right businesses. Like that guy's like, oh, I assume a dentist might be able to come here. Our guy will tell them, no, in fact, here's what you should be looking at for. It should be actually this kind of business because that's where your tax dollars are going to different community.
And they were going to talk with individuals in the community to see what the individuals in the community were wanting to add as well. What they felt like their need would be.
This is already proposed in the budget.
Yes, it's all right. It went down from 15 to 5,000, just separating it 3 ways. Yeah.
Discussion, action, or are we tabling it, or
I'll make a motion to approve item 18 for the retail coach contract.
motion by Trent, second,
I'll second.
second. All in favor?
Hope it works.
Are you voting yes or no? Three, Wendy?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, one against Wendy, and the other yes. Thank you. Thanks, that passes. Okay. Item number 19, consider discuss and act upon ordinance number 2025-0902-002 for a pre-meeting workshop.
So I created this ordinance. It does say 6 p.m. That could be obviously we didn't change it. We like 7 p.m. for a workshop or 6:30. It doesn't have to be 6. It's about 6. It's amending our code of ordinances for in addition to the date and time for meetings. Added that regular meeting shall begin at 7. And then in addition, beginning at 6 p.m. a workshop meeting shall be conducted for the purpose of discussion, planning, and no formal action shall be taken unless properly posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. So we could change it because it's going to be on a separate day. It's on the 4th Tuesday of each month, beginning at 6.
Why is that?
Why is it? I just put it that way. If you want to change to a 3rd Thursday or.
I thought we'd do it before our regular meetings. Did we not?
So if you want to do it on the same day, we can start at 6, or we can give a week or 2 apart so staff can then fix any issues. So that, the one that's presented to you October or the 1st Tuesday of the month, you guys have discussed it. There's some changes needed, and it's a quicker meeting versus still having to amend things. Many things that could have been approved that day, which the workshop was last week. Are not. We're gonna have to wait another month. Yeah, exactly what the mayor just said. So discussion be had to amend it to third Tuesday, the same Tuesday, 7, 6:30, 8, whatever. That's the discussion among the current council.
I kind of like the way it worked out for this one, that we were able to get a bunch of stuff done.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All in
agree. I
one
like
night.
the before, so everything's fresh, you're discussing it, you know, kind of what you're doing, and you know, there's occasionally we may have to push something back, but tonight we didn't. I don't think, I don't.
There was a couple of just discussions.
Right.
Yeah, but other than that.
I agree. I like it beforehand. So
So to say
one
the
night,
first.
everybody's here, 6 o'clock.
First Tuesday of each month.
Okay.
You gotta be your seats.
I know. Not 6.
I'll knock on your door next time.
Thank you. Would you do that? Just throw something at my door.
But any motion for this as well?
Yeah, a motion to approve as amended to say the first Tuesday.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve as amended.
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay. I've already done number 20, right? Yes, ma'am. All right, item number 21. Correct? That's where we're at.
Yes. Yes, we did the CDC already.
Consider and discuss budget and tax rate and budget calendar.
So I emailed you and all this information as well as Jody has put part of the packet. I've updated the budget to reflect the county rate that the county has given us in the worksheet. Due to, I got here end of July. When we received the worksheet, I questioned the county about ordinance that was passed the year prior. We approved the tax rate and had questions. Didn't really get an answer for it, so I reached out to legal, and Allison didn't have an answer for it. So she said, I have someone who's going to be knowledgeable in this, so let's schedule a meeting with them. And so we did, and had questions. She presented the calendar that what we'll need to do for the month of September when it comes to meetings, postings, stuff like that. Basically, if we are to want to change what the county has given us, in the worksheet, if we want to go above that rate, the voter approval rate, we have to have those meetings basically in July, and August, and approval by the end of August. But for what Susan told me, for the county rate, which we're going to accept because we can't really legally accept a higher rate because we passed the deadline without conflicts or someone fighting it. We have to go to the county rate, which could be approved by the end of September, as long as we follow. We're gonna have to have multiple meetings, like you saw on the calendar, which work out and which we haven't worked out. Go do that. I'd amend the budget just a tad bit. It wasn't a huge change, I just removed money from one budget item that we weren't really going to use too much anyways. So that was the vehicle purchase street. So I just knocked it down to 0 and made changes with the retail coach thing, and it went back to 0 balance. So we're good there. The budget is zeroing out with the new tax rate that we're have to approve, which is the 0.42, so on and so forth, that long number that we'll have to go forth. I put the notice out for the public hearing for the budget to be on the 16th because there has to be a 10-day notice for that, and then the calendar to see that we will have out one out for the property tax hearing. So what she told me, which new information for me, you have to approve your budget before you approve your tax rate. So that's why, which makes no sense in the brain when you think about it, but that's what law requires. So we want to be legal and go by what the law tells us to do. But for next year, I do recommend probably going back up to what we were, because there's a lot of needs that in the future, like police department, like street improvements, so on and so forth, that extra income is going to be beneficial for us in following years. Especially it works out somewhat because our comprehensive plan will be done by then. So that gives a better knowledge still. what needs to be done in the future. And we will have a discussion, in one of the meetings about the rates, schedule fees and rates. If you recall, I believe it was last year, the Texas Rural Water Development Board presented a PowerPoint presentation of what the rates should be. Obviously, we need to be at those rates eventually to get grants and see funds for that. So that's gonna be a discussion. Not doing it all at once, but maybe throughout the next 3 years, we slowly go up to that amount. So it's not a huge shock for the citizens, but we do. I mean, it's been presented to us. We can't fight that, argue against it, because it's just straight. That's what we need. That's the rate we need. So I think to slowly get the citizens, used to it, not all at once, like I think Trent did. We had a lot of people said we just scaled it, in the 3-year program. First year be this one, second year be this, third year be this, and then hopefully by that time, think about figure out what our needs are for a treatment plan, and then be able to go for longer term things. That way, that's the advice.
We're going to executive session, but the next few items on here.
You want to do an executive session?
Now.
If that is completely up
Do it now, finish your agenda. However you want.
We already reviewed item number 22. I think I already know there was still some more questions regarding council might want to leave on.
This is for adding it to executive session to discuss.
Correct.
Uh,
I mean, we can go into executive session now. We can discuss items number 21, 22, 23, and those 3 items. And then the other item.
we can add those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely add
Yeah.
to.
So I guess we could, actually, before we go into executive session, we can move on to item number 24. Since it's more of a, consider discussing act upon nominations for Blue Ridge City Council to serve on Collins Central Appraisal District Board of Directors. Right. We've already taken care of that item, going to executive session regarding that item.
So we're passing, the number 22.
Yeah, we're going to go 21, 22, and 23 into executive session.
Okay, so we're adding that one to executive session as well.
Item 24.
So my agenda's messed up because you printed out the new one now. What's the 23?
24 is the consider discuss act on nominations.
But the one that's about the extraterrestrial system, we're gonna bring that to executive session as well?
22, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So do we want to discuss 24 now?
Yeah, we can
Because
do that.
that's just a nomination from the city council.
Right, but
Remember,
it's not,
council.
Yes.
it's for,
Yeah,
just,
I can explain that too.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start, go to 24 and then we'll go into executive session and come back to the other items.
Okay, yes, so the county sent an email to Joni for nominations of the Collin Central Appraisal District Board of Directors. They're asking community members, a community member in the city of Blue Ridge be a part of that board. Obviously you can't be someone who's served on the council for the last 4 years. There's a gap you have to have. So if there's any resident that's interested in being a part of the appraisal board from the Collin County District, just contact us at City Hall and we'll give you the correct information, the contact information, how to apply to be a part of that board. Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
I went on the website and, they asked that you be able to give up your May, June, and July. 5 days a week, some Saturdays to, because this is for protest, people that protest there. That's the board that they are looking for. So, but you can go on their website and it's pretty self-explanatory. But it'd be nice if we got representation here.
So we're gonna need an action item right now regarding that.
Yeah, just discussion.
Public information. Okay. All right. So now, at this time, In accordance with the Texas Government Code, Section 551.001, the City Council will recess to executive session, closed meeting to discuss the following items: number 21, 22, 23, and then 551.071, consultation with attorney on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body and the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with this chapter in the tax year 2025 tax rate year end 2025-26 budget. And then the Constitution of the City Attorney on a matter in which the duty of the attorney governmental Texas by disciplinary rules of professional conduct, the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with Texas Open Meetings Act regarding interim city secretary's appointment. To deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, or to hear a complaint or charge against an officer, employee, interim city secretary Johnny Lawrence. So we will go into executive session 8:13 p.m. At this time, everyone will have to leave council. So it is 9:45. Reconvene in open session in accordance with the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. The City Council will reconvene into open session to consider action, if any, on matters discussed in executive session. Item 21 was consider and discuss budget and tax rate and budget calendar. Topic was a discussion item only. Item 22. Review, discuss, and act upon removing Bellotti and Quarry subdivisions from the city of Blue Ridge's extraterritorial jurisdiction and deferring to Collin County to retain oversight of the Bellotti and Quarry subdivisions, or have the city of Blue Ridge assume control of the project along with all incurred expenses, including but not limited to warranty bonds, inspections, engineering, legal, maintenance, and testing.
I make a motion that we, assume control of the project along with all expenses,
I'll second.
keeping them in the ETJ.
Have a motion by Wendy and a second by Linda. All in favor? None opposed. Item number 23, consider, discuss, and act upon dissolving the pending interlocal agreement with Collin County regarding enforcing the city of Blue Ridge's subdivision regulations in extraterritorial jurisdiction.
No action.
Yeah, it's topic of discussion, no action.
Okay. Good discussion, no action. We've already done 24, correct? By the city council. So, here. Discussion, placing items on future agendas. Wendy? Oh, I'm sorry. What did it?
We have to do.
Okay, I'm sorry. We'll be talked about it once. Okay. In accordance with the Texas Government Code, Section 551. Come out of executive session to discuss the matter of the city secretary, interim city secretary. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we, appoint Joni Lawrence as city secretary.
David's.
Okay, seconds, all in favor? None opposed. Thank you. Now, item 27. Discussion of placing items on future agendas. Randy?
Got a shorter list.
Go for it.
Well, I already talked to Allison about, seeing if we can include members in the ETJ or from the ETJ in, PNC. I know it'd have to be by ordinance. I asked her if she could check on that to see if there was any statutes, because I couldn't find them. I looked for days. I couldn't find anything. She said she'd research that and let us know. So still working on the PNC. That's just more of an FYI, but I do want to, follow up with her on that.
Yeah, I did see where they could be appointed as a consultant.
Correct.
But not necessarily
Where?
on the board.
Where?
Where did I see that? I'd have to go back and look again.
Yeah, I just wanted
But that
a
was-
statute because I can't
Yeah.
find it. kind of like I mean, I should drive me nuts. And I swear I found it, but now I can't.
Okay.
It's because you're
Okay.
looking for it.
Yeah.
I know there is a prohibition, because it's in our, ordinances, section 8.02.005, about Jake break rates prohibition. We live on 545, where all these semis are coming down, and it's almost daily that they're doing it. I mean, I know we passed it, and they were supposed to put signage up. Do we have signage, and where is it?
That was for city streets. The signage is on Ridgeway. But 545 is a Tech Dot road, so we will have to go through Tech Dot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that something we as a city need to do? Like,
I mean, anybody can. I can get an email to Jennifer Boyster, who is with Tech Dot in McKinney.
okay.
But I mean,
And they will require an ordinance,
yeah,
for whoever street we'll put that on. So we already have discussion about that for no parking. Square where people are blocking out parking. So might need to add on to that ordinance, that if that's what the council wants.
Yeah, I mean, I hear it all the time.
I mean, and
And what is that signage for?
no Jake breaks.
Is where they
On
take
the
the
Big rigs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, my last issue is, when I was reading the animal control report, it discussed that they found a dead dog out there in that LGI.
Uh-huh.
So that kind of got my antenna up. Are we concerned kids might get in one of those things?
That was a retention pond, and it was, I'm pretty sure that it did not drink. If you catch my drift.
Okay.
I mean, I know you see all over, like, all about Blue Ridge and stuff. You control your dog, blah, 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 blah. I honestly think that was just a dump.
Okay, I mean, because I don't know how deep those things are, and it's
They're
right behind the ballpark.
Yeah.
And that was my first, that's what I immediately jumped to is, what's the safety of our kids?
Yeah, I mean, and I know technically no one's supposed to be in there, right? They're not just construction.
Yeah, right.
But that's not gonna keep me back here. I know it never did. I was kidding. But, I honestly do not think that dog drowned in that pond. I think that was a dumped animal from the way that animal control was describing it.
Okay.
Yeah. But
But that
I mean,
does
I
bring up
can-
a good question.
yeah,
Because
I can
you're
talk
concerned, what
to
did we
the
do
safety
to-
I can talk to Elaine Torres at LGI and ask her to put up some sort of the construction fencing, like, the orange, construction fencing around a retention pond.
How many ponds do they have on there? I mean, I was looking on the satellite. It looks like there's, I don't know, 5, 6, something like that. There's quite a few.
I'd have to look on their plans, because I know that they had to at least have one retention pond, and I know that there was like 2 green spaces they had to have. But a lot of that right now might just be lowland. I'm not 100% unless I go look at it, but like I said, I'll get in touch with Elaine Torres at LGI and I'll ask her for some sort of safety measures around any kind of low spots or retention.
Yeah, I
ponds.
mean, just being right behind the ballpark. I mean,
For sure.
you know how kids are.
No, I know, stupid. Adventurous.
That's a better word. I raised one, I know. Okay, that's all I have.
David?
Yeah.
Okay. Item number 28 is adjournment.
Oh, yes. I make a motion we adjourn.
There we go.
Where we at? No, Linda.
Let's back on her again.
Okay.
Like, I really want to make sure that's done.
Okay, all in favor? All in favor, Linda, Katrina, we're good to go. Okay, that was 9:54.
9:54, yes, ma'am.
We will all be back here again next Tuesday.
Yes. So,
I'll be in my